YouTube, welcome back. We have a roadmap. It's not an exact date. We know sometime in June stuff's gonna happen. We've been told sometime in June. However, this is the next best thing. We've got a dev post from EHG_Steve. This came 4 hours ago on the 7th of May here. We're gonna read through this. We're gonna take this poll together and we're just gonna bask in our ideas of what on earth does nonsense mean. After we're done recording this, after we're done chatting with YouTube here, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna figure out what these hieroglyphics mean from the spider. Because I think that after maybe an hour or so, we can probably crack what this means. So check back in with me later and I'll tell you what this actually says. The music that we're listening to is so good. This music is actually official Last Epoch music. I can't not listen to it. I need something in the background and this music slaps. Let's take a look. It says, hello travelers. We are thrilled. Oh my God, me too. Here's an early look of what's going on. Pop it open. Wait, hold on. Wait, I know you want to look at this and I do too, but there's something else I need to show you first. First of all, let me show you this. On the 22nd of April, I said, is it safe to assume that there's some kind of communication coming in about 2 weeks? I did say that. And then, just as a point of reference, on the 2nd of this month, I said we're totally getting a news post on Monday or Tuesday for 1 point release. We didn't get a release date. But boy, am I basking in glory. And in case there was ever any doubt here, I do want to show you my third post from Twitter, whatever this website's called. I said 1.5 weeks from this date until EHD tells us when to expect patch 1.1. I didn't quite nail it, but I got really close to nailing it. Let's take a look at the roadmap that we have here and see what on earth we're to expect. I'm gonna hide my face for a moment so that we can see all the information. I guess I'm gonna hide my little pig too. Let's do this. So on this, whoa, that's really big. I guess I can scroll down like this, can't I? The first one here, we have cycles 1, 2, sorry, cycles 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. In cycles 1, we've been told that we should expect new pinnacle boss system. So not only bosses, but some kind of system as well. So we have harbingers, not harbinger, but harbingers, and pinnacle bosses, along with some amazing artwork. I have no idea what this is, but it looks like some kind of Erebus or void themed stuff. We have random encounters, nemesis, and an evade dodge roll mechanic. To me, this looks like some kind of iframe that everyone gains access to. Maybe a small little hop and a skip. We don't have any information about this yet, but I love it. Things like a random encounter nemesis. This reminds me of when we got our exiled mages in the monolith system. So the exiled mages themselves, they were tricky content. They showed up in the campaign. They brought along with them all of their experimental affixes. They're kind of sketchy encounters until you get yourself well and geared up, and then you just kind of farm them and you get cool unique items from it. Nemesis, very exciting. One of the critiques of Last Epoch for a long time has been, I wish there were more stuff to do in an individual monolith encounter. This looks to be a move in the right direction. Love this, love pinnacle bosses, can't wait to die to them. In 1.2, the cycle after that, we have uncover the secrets of the Etero's ancient past. If you've been around the Last Epoch community for any amount of time, you'll know that going into the ancient era and experiencing the lush, green, flowered, colorful, beautiful area of the ancient campaign, of the ancient era, is one of the most requested features from people on social media and on Discord and on Reddit. People say, please EHG, please let me go back to the ancient era. Let me do something there. Let me do monolith webs there. Let me have more storyline there. Let me do something because it's so beautiful. I want to explore it. In terms of lore, it's interesting as well because that's the point where Etero was still on the land. So we have Primal Hunt endgame events. Listen, man, I played a lot of Path of Exile in the past, and this kind of sounds like I might need a net, but we'll see what exactly this means. We have an Ancient Era story chapter. Love it. You should know that there are 9 chapters in Last Epoch right now. There will be 12 chapters to deal with. So we have 10, 11, 12, the last 3. There will be something that has to do with Raye. There'll be something that has to do with Erebus. And there'll be something that has to do with the Immortal Emperor. I'm curious to know which one of those is going to line up with the Ancient Era, but I'm excited because lore is actually quite good in this video game. Last up is primordial unique items. This is the first time that I've ever seen the word primordial attached to uniques here. Never quite seen words in this order before. Very exciting. I have no idea what this brings. If it's anything like Weaver unique items kind of started out slowly, but they kind of ramped up over time, and they ended up being something that people really wanted to farm up and they could incorporate in their builds. So yeah, if it's anything like Weaver unique items, like a different style of unique, a different style of getting LP on it, yeah, very, very cool to have more stuff exploring, hopefully the LP system, which is what I assume here. Next up in 1.3, we have an amazing graphic. So we had these Weaver unique items, and then what's the Weaver? The Weaver is probably a spider, isn't it? Holy shit, this looks so good. Whew. Explore lost realities preserved in time. Monolith of Fate expansion. The last time we had a Monolith of Fate expansion, instead of having this 2-door problem where you just like you open door number 1 or you open door number 2, they had the Monolith of Fate and the web introduced to the game, and that was around patch 082, I believe. The last time we had a Monolith of Fate expansion, it was huge and awesome. When I see Monolith of Fate expansion, I expect big things from this. Very exciting. Next up is unique false echoes. So an echo is like an alternate reality or something. What's a false echo? I don't know. But it sounds timey-wimey, and I've been playing a lot of timey-wimey video games in the past couple days. I'm very excited for the implications of whatever this means. Awesome. I have no insider information, unfortunately. Next up is procedurally generated side zones here. Something that I've said in the past that really belongs in Last Epoch. Man, I really think that Val side areas from Path of Exile, some system that looks like Val side areas would look so good in Last Epoch. If this is anything similar to that, I'm very excited. It doesn't have to be the same. Not every video needs to be not every video game needs to be copy-paste of some other video game. Last Epoch and Path of Exile are going to be 2 different games. I get it. But, man, if this is anything like Val side areas, I think it'll fit really, really well in Last Epoch. Next up is 1.4. They say unlock your skills' true potential. This looks awesome. I don't know what this is, but they said introducing skill sigils. And to give someone else a shout out here, there's someone who has a lot of passion when it comes to discussing Last Epoch. And honest to goodness, this skill sigil and this little icon right here and these little question marks in blue, these kind of look like a system that I've heard Lizard_IRL talking about in the past, years ago. If this is inspired by Lizard IRL, I need to go give that guy like a high five or something, because I've got high hopes. I've got a lot of high hopes for Last Epoch. And this skill sigils thing here, can I customize my skills? Can I build a new skill tree on top of it? I can't wait to find out. More endgame bosses are always a good thing, and Last Epoch, very dissimilar from Path of Exile. At the end of the game, your characters don't look like they're wearing a garbage can on top of their head. The default armor that's already on the items in Last Epoch looks amazing. I just wish that I could select this one or that one instead of actually using the one on top of my head, because who doesn't like a good fashion show? Transmog system and a dye system for making things the right color, amazing. Hopefully low effort. Hopefully it didn't cause too much time, but I love the idea of having this kind of system in the game as well, because I want to look good. Why not? Let's keep scrolling down and see what else is going on with Last Epoch here. They say, at 11th Hour Games, we're dedicated to making games that are good. As of this writing, we got new people coming on board. The roadmap continues to showcase what long-term plans we have. Awesome. Here's the thing, and I congratulate Last Epoch, right? I congratulate EHG for saying this. When we had the big influx of gamers during 1.0 and just before 1.0, the people who were coming into Last Epoch were saying the same thing. They were saying that Last Epoch and the 11th Hour Games team reminded them of the community-driven team of Path of Exile from 10 plus years ago. And that is a huge accolade. That is a excellent compliment to receive. So when they say, here's the thing about roadmaps, we're striving to be the best, one of the best and most community-driven games in the industry. And this means that sometimes roadmaps change. So each of the items listed in the roadmap are just a few examples of things we plan to work on. Not the only things we'll work on, but just some of the things, some of the highlights. But they might change over time, given what the community says. So we're going to scroll down real quick and keep reading. And we, together, are going to fill out a poll. Because why not? I like filling out polls with you. I think it's a good time. I actually have not clicked on this yet. So I'm going to pop this open, and we will be reading that in just a moment here. So Pinnacle content release timing. I like this. I've read it already. Let me read this to you. They've said, we're excited to show you great content. Over the past few months, the community has started discussing cycles and how content is made available to both legacy and cycle players. Our current plan for the 1.x series of patches, 1.x includes all 4 of these things up here, is to bring all content to offline, cycle, and legacy realms. Everyone, including people who are notepadding their gear offline, including people who have insanely well-geared characters in legacy. Everyone gets it at the same time. But we also believe in allowing cycle characters a small bit of time to attempt new Pinnacle content before extremely well-geared and optimized offline and legacy characters have a chance to showcase just how fast they can conquer it. This is exciting. This is different than how other video games have done in the past. Path of Exiles is extremely popular, so let's talk about PoE for a moment. When new content drops in PoE, oftentimes what you'll see happen is that people will jump into Legacy, or they'll jump into Standard, and they will one-shot the bosses, or they will learn all the mechanics in Standard, and then they will jump onto their new characters, and their cycle characters in League, and then they will actually attempt it. So having a 1 week? Question mark? 2 weeks? Question mark? I don't know how much of a delay there's going to be, but having some kind of delay, it's new, it's different, and I'm excited to see how this works out. Someone is going to be mad about this, but quite frankly, in the world of video games in 2024, someone's going to be mad about everything. So it's more of a question of who do you want to make mad? So I think this is a fine approach, and I'm interested to see how people feel about it and how it works out. Cool. They've said, with that said, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this plan. It takes about a couple minutes. It's got 4 questions. That's it. Let's click on it. Make it bigger. Enhance. I'm a grandpa these days. I need my text bigger. Over the last few months, we've seen and read many conversations. Oh my goodness. Chat, every time that I log on to social media and I read about Last Epoch, I feel like I'm losing some brain cells. There are a lot of people out there with some very interesting opinions about what the developers ought to be doing or why the game is dying. It's not dying. So when they say they've seen and read many conversations, my heart goes out to EHG. For patch 1.1, we plan to add loads of new content into all game modes. Love this. But we're considering options for the new Pinnacle bosses. The current plan is to have Pinnacle boss content only available to cycle online characters for a limited amount of time. And then after a specific time or event, the boss will be released to all game modes, including offline and legacy. The goal of this plan, like we talked about, is to help foster healthy and competitive event options for our community, while also not removing content from the other game modes. With this hybrid approach, we want to anger as few people as possible. An example of how this might work. Patch 1.1. Here's how it might work. Maybe, perhaps. All new content is added to all game modes with the exception of the new Pinnacle bosses, this content is only available to new cycle online characters. So characters that you only started with at level 1 with an empty stash and 0 gold 1 day ago. Once any character in Cycle Online has cleared the new Pinnacle bosses for the first time, it unlocks after a short delay for all players in all game mode. So this means like after the one singular world's first, 24 hours later, it will unlock for every single person in the world. That's how I'm interpreting this. So after Ben, after somebody clears the boss for the very first time, 24 hours later, every single person in the world in all game modes gets access to it. That's my interpretation of this. Oh no, my email address. Uh-oh. How do you feel about a small delay before releasing Pinnacle boss to offline and legacy realms so that players have an even playing field for attempting the boss or attempting the content during launch? Strongly agree. I'm like here. I don't know about strongly agree, but like I'm no, you know what? I'm 4 or 5. I'm gonna hit 5. Don't be afraid of taking a stance. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be 5 on this one. Let's keep going. Question 2. If we do go with the proposed plan from question 1, as a failsafe, we would want to have a time-delayed action that releases the boss, regardless of whether someone is cleared it or not. This prevents the content from being locked by accident. What's the longest amount of time you think the pinnacle boss should go? So, given it's probably going to be dead within 24 hours, it's likely going to be dead in 24 hours. What's the longest amount of time you think the pinnacle boss should wait to be released if nobody has cleared it? The longest amount of time? 1 week. It's not going to happen, but I think 1 week should be the longest. If it hasn't happened after 48 hours, we should all just start making fun of ourselves. Yeah? We should all just be like, we're all terrible. 1 week, lock it in. Question 3. If we go with a proposed plan from question 1, what is the shortest amount of time after the pinnacle boss has been cleared before it unlocks? What's the shortest amount of time? So you don't want it any shorter than this. You don't want it any shorter than this. Always wait for the, oh, look at this. Look at this dynamic poll here. Always wait for the time limit chosen in question 2 of this questionnaire. What's the shortest amount? So maybe even if someone clears it on day 1, maybe offline people should still have to wait 1 entire week. You know what? I don't mind that. Like 1 week, the boss is only explicitly available in online in the new cycle. I don't mind it. I think all 3 of these answers are totally fine. I wouldn't judge anyone for voting any of these, but I think I'm gonna go for this one. The shortest amount of time, 1 week, and then after that, then you can go meme on the boss in offline mode with your notepadded gear. That's fine. Question number 4. Is there a specific game mode within Cycle Online that should be preferable to the unlocking condition? Oh, maybe only hardcore gamers? Question 4 might change my 2 and 3 answer. You're right. Question 4 might change my 2 and 3 answer. Oh, maybe someone has to clear it in hardcore? Nah. Cool idea, but Listen, I played a ton of hardcore in last Epoch, but like it's still basically a single player online game, and I don't want anyone to feel compelled to play single player online hardcore because like sometimes server things happen. Yeah. Solo, no. Yeah. How about any cycle hardcore? Cycle, any solo hard? Maybe this one. Any solo? So after any solo person clears it, you don't think last Epoch is hardcore already? I think aside from server issues, last Epoch is a wonderful game to play in hardcore. Genuinely. I've played it for thousands of hours as a hardcore game. Server issues are kind of a toss-up. I think for the most part, the servers are good. But like, you know, servers are servers. Other than server issues, I think last Epoch is wonderful for hardcore. Yeah, how about this one? Cycle Online, anyone solo. Anyone solo? I think I might judge someone if they said like hardcore only. I get it. I think like if a Path of Exile person were voting on this, like if Ziz or something were voting in this, I'd anticipate that he might like vote hardcore solo or something. But like, whatever. I'll do this. Yeah. Ship it. I am so excited to see how this goes. I've got, if I could only know what any of these things actually meant. Because you watched all the way to the end of the video, I've got some extra, whoa, what is this? That's not what I meant to show you. Because you watched all the way to the end of this, I got a couple talking points to share with you here. Let's do one of these. You should know that there is more content for each cycle than what's just listed. So it's not explicitly those 3 things listed as bullet points. There's more for each one. You should also know that there is not an announced date for 1.1. I expect beginning of June, maybe like 1 week into June or 2 weeks into June. I wouldn't say June 1st, but if it ends up being like June 7th or June 14th, like somewhere thereabouts, that's what I personally expect, but there is no date for 1.1. My next talking point immediately invalidates what I've just said to you. They've said, please do not speculate on timing. That can't stop me. I can't read. They said, please don't speculate on timing. Our goal is to make the game good, and we will release patches when they're ready. La Mao. Holy shit. Whew. Next talking point, gamers. What do we got? They said, we are aware of a lot of high priority bugs, including the Thonic Fissure bug that's stopping Perry the Pig from playing his Thonic Fissure. What's that sword called? Spine of Malatro's build. Okay, so they're aware of my bug. Good. They said, we have a dedicated strike team for hunting down these bugs and fixing them. Good, got it. The last thing they've said is the list of features on the roadmap is not exhaustive. It's just a first look into what's being worked on. We plan to update this roadmap more after 1.2. Sick. Oh, sick. I'm going to go spend the next hour of my life figuring out what these hieroglyphics mean here. Because I think we can. I'll let you know what I discover, okay? Oh, what a good game. I'll see you next time.